Good afternoon. It's my pleasure to call back to order the general session and transfer command ceremonies this afternoon. Now, most of you have heard me speak. Some of you have heard me speak a lot. And rather than often offering a whole bunch of words about my conference theme and my vision and my year as president, I thought I'd take kind of a unique approach. And so I've asked Mike Galliano, my friends Mike Galliano and Paul Combs, to come and kind of talk through, weave together, summarize this conference theme, one through words and the other through picture. And so I'd like to introduce Mike Galliano and Paul Combs.
All right. Friends, I know, just like myself, just like Paul, you're gathered here today. You've come here to kind of see a ceremony that's touching, and it's one that gets us here. We just watched people who have given their all for the service be commemorized and honorized, have we not? And it was breathtaking. It took our breath away. And we've spent the days of the last 4 or 5 days in this conference, we've spent them in a fulfillment of a vision, if you will, and one that didn't just come about by happenstance. And if you can tell by our voices, I stand here on behalf of all the instructors. We gave it our all as well. There isn't a whole lot left in the voice. I've got about 10 minutes of talking left, for which my wife is very grateful, I can tell you. She's going to hope that no more words come out the rest of the week. This is a fulfillment of a vision. If I can take you back a few years to a place that none of you saw, you weren't present when this occurred, but Jonathan and I had some time together, and I'd just given a devotional at FDIC, and Jonathan at the time was young and up and coming, and he had a vision for what he wanted this fire conference to be, and a message that he wanted conveyed really and truly from what we have observed, from what Paul and I have observed, and myself through the years. It was a message that embodies South Carolina. It embodies the South Carolina Fire Service. It embodies what the Firefighters Association, really and truly, one of the finest supporting organizations I have ever been privileged to see in my life. Folks, it embodies the calling that is every one of yours, and the family, the members that are sitting alongside you. It embodies that message. Jonathan found that message in 4 F's, right? In family, in fitness, in finance, and of course in our calling in fire hose. And the fire conference was dedicated to and commemorated by those 4 F's. And if you would permit me, if I could editorialize a little bit, I believe it was very clear in the way Jonathan and the staff and folks, the way you go about your business, the way you pursue your calling, there was a 5th F that really overarched all of those things. And it was faith. It was faith. What does it profit a man to gain the whole world and to lose their eternal soul? Jonathan had a vision for this conference. Then what would it profit any firefighter who is living their dreams, who has won the lottery of life by being able to pursue this calling of firefighting? What would it profit them to have an amazing, unbelievable career filled with saving lives and ultimately changing lives if along the way, at the end of the road, it was undone because of our health? If we did an entire wonderful career and it was undone because of the fitness level that we had. If it was undone because, I don't know, any of you getting rich fighting fire? Show of hands. Seeing none, I'll move along. What if it's undone because our finances are out of whack and our lifestyle doesn't conform with both what we want before the Lord and what we want for our families and what we want to present? And good gracious, what does it profit any of us if because of this calling that is so magical and wonderful and inspiring, pulls us away from before God, our number one consideration, our number one desire, our number one passion, our family. And if you would, for me, just one moment, Jonathan said I could say and do whatever I want. That's a risky thing, by the way, okay? Number one, Denise, Cooper, Mary Louise, this is the power behind the throne, if you will. Would you guys stand up just real quick? This is the family behind the president who is now passing the gavel. Yeah. You know, and finally, it's fitting that we talked about fire. And again, I hope that for Paul and I, my voice is about ready to go with passion about fire. His hand is about to crimp up into a claw, okay? From signing and writing and drawing. All of this was done so that we could honor the vision that my brother Jonathan had for this fire conference to be something that would inspire you, that would send you back to your firefighters, that would send you back into your homes, that would send you back into your own lives, introspectively, look in, what can we do to make this calling the most amazing experience in the world? Now, if you would join with me, I asked Jonathan, what's the one thing that you would love the men and women sitting in the audience today to take away from what has been for Paul and I a life-changing week? An incredible conference that has touched all aspects of the 4Fs. I have watched men and women come to the front of the class, come to the front of the ceremonies. I watched a young man shake Jonathan's hands in tears, saying, "You're talking about my life. You're shining a mirror right into my life. I want to do better." We had a young mother come up to us after one of the classes and say, "I wasn't sure we were going to survive as a couple. We're committed to surviving now." We have a member from the Sydney, Australia, who is here amongst you folks, watching how you do business to take back to Australia tips, techniques, and tools to become better. And the one thing he said to me after class, after spending all this week with you, this is a continent away, a plane flight away that's unbelievable. They're going back to Australia better and inspired. You've inspired a firefighter to go back to another continent to now inspire the firefighters in Australia. So if you would, for the next couple minutes while my brother Paul writes and draws and shares a little bit with you about the week, if you would, again, I get to do what I want. What I would like to do is I would like to stand next to my brother who many years ago had a vision for what this conference could be, and I would just like to say on behalf of Paul and I and all the instructors, it's a job well done. Mission accomplished. Jonathan Jones. Jonathan, come on out, brother. Come on out. Yeah, come over here. Go ahead, Paulie. Light us up.
A few months ago when, am I on? I can talk loud. A few months ago when Jonathan approached me about doing another cartoon for the closing ceremonies, and he wanted to embody the 4Fs of what this conference meant. The first image that popped into my head was balance, and that we need that balance in our lives as firefighters. It can't all be about firefighting. It can't all be about those fire trucks and that mission at the firehouse, that we need the other elements of our life. And so this image of a firefighter on a high wire act, and most of you know that life can feel like a high wire act at times, correct? A firefighter on a high wire act, balancing the 4Fs. One of these elements is not on this plate. We become off balance, all right? And we can fall off this high wire. We need these 4Fs to contribute, to be part of a family, both in the fire service and at home, all right? All this needs to be present. So when Jonathan asked me to do this is the image that popped into my head. I hope it's what you envisioned, because this has been an incredible conference. Mike, is there anything else you want to add?
The thing I would say, what you see standing before you today is somebody who cast a vision for a fire conference and a vision of the South Carolina firefighters, the men and women who wear this badge proudly. And I would say that what you see is somebody who not only cast that vision, but embodied it, who modeled it, and I think we're all very blessed. I know I am for having him as a friend. Ann and I, before we came to the conference, we spoke with Jonathan about some things that were going on in he and Denise's life. And when I hung up the phone, in closing, the thing I will say the strongest about this family, I hung up the phone and I looked at Ann, and it started to get a little bit emotional. I said, baby, as much as any people in our lives, I just got done talking with a man and with him his wife who truly embody what it means to be pursuing Christ and to be Christians. And I think that's reflected in the vision of the conference. I think it's reflected in the success of the conference. And I cannot be prouder to now, with my friend, offer you this.
Chief, for your service and dedication and appreciation, and thank you for a wonderful conference that you and your team put together. Mike and I would like to present to you the original, which embodies the 4 F's and the 4 values that we all hold dear, as a thank you.
Well done. Well done. God bless you.
Okay, he's going off that side.
Several years ago, I learned the lesson that to pull together a program of this magnitude with 5,000 people and 140 vendors and 1,200 students in classes was obviously going to take a lot more than what an individual could muster. And frequently, for the fire service people in the room, we teach and preach the use of incident management systems in incidents that we run to. And so it became evident that if we were going to preach that sermon, we needed to actually walk it here at this conference. And so we did that through the use of the South Carolina Forestry Commission's IMT, Incident Management Team. And their wisdom led us to their regional teams, and it is at this time that I would like to recognize those individuals. And I want the team, I think you're collectively, please stand. Come on up towards the screen. I want everybody to see your pretty face while I talk a little bit about it. Come on over, Mike. I think you're there in the lead. These folks that you see moving up in front of this at this time, we couldn't do this conference without them. They are silently behind the scenes working up in room 206. These folks represent the geographical area of the PD, this geographical area that you're sitting in now. They make moment-by-moment decisions to try to direct what's going on behind the scenes while the rest of us are hiding behind this curtain or in classrooms. So the ladies and gentlemen, to you, on behalf of the fire service of this state, pulling this conference together, we want to say thank you and recognize you. Thank you kindly. I appreciate y'all coming down. I pulled them off of work, told them I had to come down here, so they got to scurry back upstairs and make sure somebody hadn't made a decision without them. Thank y'all for what you do. There's another group of individuals of which I could not be successful at what I do day to day and or bringing this conference together, and that's the staff of our office. The one thing about this conference is it begins pretty much next week for the one that's held next year. It's a year-round event. There's no way that I even really imagined before I came involved with it what a complex thing it was. And although I know that we've got one member behind the screen and others that are still out working, if you're one of the office staff, full-time, part-time employees, stand up where you are. I won't call you because I'll get shot if I make them come up front. Stand up where you are, and Ashley, come on out from behind the curtain. I don't think she's going to come out. Thank y'all for what you do. It's incredible to be able to pull these things together. One of the ideas that was generated by our executive committee several years back that I firmly believe is a organization-changing decision that we made was the concept of starting a leadership institute, a class that ran year-round that allowed individuals to apply to get into, that stretched some of the muscles of learning beyond traditional classroom methodology. It was an opportunity for those people to experience networking and what this fire service in this state was about, and being able to see and feel when it meant South Carolina Fire Service put a face and a name and an emotion to it. This year is no different. I'd like to recognize and ask to stand those individuals, the names of which are in the program in your book that you found on your seat. the class of the 2013-2014 Leadership Institute. If you would, please stand. I believe they're most majority over here. Round of applause for them would be appreciated. Those individuals have been working hard, and even this week, they had Tuesday to make a presentation to a group of some pretty grumpy individuals to evaluate them on homework that they had been doing, as if they were presenting to a council or to a commission. And they've been kind of, after Tuesday, they've been kind of workforce for us, so we've not let the dust settle on them too much. So to you, I say thank you. Congratulations for your participation this year. Thank you. One of the things that we want to start doing, and we're going to play a little catch-up here, is this is the fourth group, I think y'all are, of the Leadership Institute. There's been 3 others before you. And we want to recognize those individuals with a lapel pin. And so if you will bear with me for just a moment, please, we would like to call forward any of the former Leadership Institute graduates, the alumni, if you would, to the front here in front of this table. So if you're in this room now, if you would please come to the front. Leadership Institute alumni. And if you would here, stand at the table. These are individuals that have gone on before in these classes, and I dare say represent what's going to be the leadership of this state. And you're going to kind of spread on out and come on down and share the love on the stage and everything. And I have asked 3 past presidents to come today and to offer to pin these individuals and recognize them for their contributions, not only in the year that they actually were in this program, but what's happening now is that as I look to these faces, these are the individuals we're really putting a lot to work in our committees and on staff and in different roles with this association. This is truly the future of the state's leadership when it comes to fire service. So if you would, Chief Payne, Chief Kerber, Chief Bowers, if y'all would please come, and the pins are here on the table behind it. And folks, if you'll just bear with us 1 second, we're going to be presenting and pinning these individuals with these, and you guys just stand still. They're going to come around and get you, maybe literally. So just forgive us a second as we go through this pinning. But these folks truly deserve this recognition, and we'll try to repeat this now as we go forward in the future, like I say, catching up these first couple of years. But we do appreciate your service and what you've done. I hadn't seen anybody holler yet, so I think everybody's okay. Nobody's gotten stuck. Nobody wants to be pinned by you, Kerber? I wasn't going to say it. Past presidents, thank you for doing that on behalf of all the executive committees. To the folks of the alumni, thank you for all the service you did during your year and for what you're keeping on doing now with us. Thank you. For our brief presentation now, something we traditionally do at this conference, and we've offered our mic to MDA, and this year we have with us Kristen Whitworth. And Kristen's going to come out now and make a presentation. Kristen?
Thank y'all so much for having us, and I know most of you know what MDA is, but we're the Muscular Dystrophy Association. This year is a special year for us because this is our 60th year partnering with the firefighters, and you guys are our largest supporter, so we can't thank you enough. But we're hoping that these small awards and will give you a little bit of credit where credit is due and just show you that we really, really appreciate it, and so do the families that we serve. So if we have anyone, I don't know if anyone from Georgetown County is in attendance, but if you are, just make your way up here. Georgetown County has been partnered with MDA for the past 5 years, raising over $20,000. 2013 was the best year yet for their boot drives, raising $4,535, which is an $800 increase from the year before. Special thanks to Battalion Chief David Genie for coordinating the boot drives each year. So our Hook and Ladder Award this year goes to Georgetown County. All right, and if we have anyone from North Myrtle Beach Fire Department, if you could make your way up here to receive your award. North Myrtle Beach gets the most improved boot for 2014. They doubled their boot totals for 2012 to over $6,000 in 2013. Due to their efforts, the city of North Myrtle Beach granted a proclamation in 2013 to recognize and say thank you to these firefighters. They are the epitome of the 60-year strong partnership that we have with firefighters, with their dedication not only to improving their Fill the Boot, but to helping our Horry County family members throughout the year. This includes helping us out for our Horry County Muscle Walk and being a permanent fixture of the MDA Horry County community. They are truly a part of our MDA Giving Tree, and I'm presenting this award to North Myrtle Beach Fire Department. So I don't think they're here. And then one more that I don't think is here either is Anderson City Fire Department. But if there is someone here, I would love for them to come. I'm giving them the Back in Action Award. They're actually one of my departments from Greenville. They went from raising $300 2 years ago to this year raising almost $4,000, which was $3,902 to be exact. But they have been awesome supporting and sponsoring a camp meal, so we greatly, greatly appreciate that. And our last and final award, are you with Anderson City? Very awesome. Awesome. Let me make sure. I have yours backstage, so I'll give you the right one, but this is, and then I'll come find you the right one. And where's my husband for a picture? I don't know where he went. Let's get it, we can get a picture of it right here. Thank you so much. All right, and the last and final award, I know he is here. If we can ask Chief Harold from the Columbia Fire Department, let's give him a hand as he comes out here. Columbia Fire Department has been the top-raising fire department for MDA in the state of South Carolina for the past few years. They raised over $130,000 last year, and rumor has it this year it's over $140,000, so they're constantly improving. This award, which is the MDA Golden Helmet Award, is going to go to the third shift for the Columbia Fire Department as the top raising shift. They have been the top shift for the state in the past 4 years, so let's give them a round of applause. All right, so thank you guys so much, and we look forward to making the 60th year of our partnership the strongest. So thank you so much.
Now into some of our awards presentations. I think that one of the things that maybe too often we overlook is the contribution that those individuals in our communities make to us outside of the field of public safety, our citizens that surround us in our community. But we at the association want to make it a priority and offer to you this evening as our first award presentation. May I draw your attention to the screens for our Citizenship Award.
Early childhood, Ed had a fascination with the fire service. He would ride his bicycle to the station and only would leave when his mother would call him for supper or to do his homework. He would ride his bicycle to fires, and he would use the old technique of watching where the water spilled out of the booster tank as the truck would respond to fires. Ed got involved with the rescue squad as well during the early days of CPR and the early techniques of extrication, and all of that with the fire service and the rescue squad really molded his interest in the fire service. When he was in the 10th grade, he went to work part-time for the funeral home, and later when the funeral director became coroner, Ed also volunteered to help with the investigations and to help the coroner in his work. And his leadership is evidenced by each job he took, a progressive responsibility. Ed now is the owner of Copeland Funeral Home in Beaufort, and he also owns Gamble Funeral Service in Savannah. Recently, well, for the last 7 years, Ed has won the Pursuit of Excellence Award through his funeral home work. This award is given to about 156 funeral homes throughout America, and that makes up about 20,000 funeral homes that he was competing with. He's a past president of the Georgia Funeral Directors Association. Ed has a great love for the fire service, and it's manifested in his work for the community. He's a member of the South Carolina State Firefighters Association and has been a member since the early 70s. He's a trained and accomplished firefighter.
I met Ed about 4 or 5 years ago through some other friends of the fire service. He struck me as being a very genuine man, someone who's truly committed to the fire service and to every endeavor that he takes a part in. He's kind of become a fixture of things that I've been a part of in the fire service, and he's always there, and there's no limit to anything that he would do for anybody if they needed it. Start off as Fire Service Appreciation Barbecue. He feeds every firefighter in the county that's on duty or not during Fire Prevention Week, and we all get together and cook at one of the local fire stations. And he's there, he's dishing food, he's dishing potato salad, he's making plates, cutting cake, and he just loves it. And this is the second year we did it. He started to include the dispatch center and the EMS, and I think this year he wants to involve all of emergency service, including law enforcement.
We wanted to do something for fire service in return for what they do for the community. We decided to do a barbecue, and we invited all of the fire personnel for Beaufort County. This will be our 4th year that we've had 3 barbecues so far. The annual barbecue has been 3 years. This will be our 4th year. Last year we added the EMS units and the dispatchers. And it's just something that we can do to show our gratitude to fire service for what they do for the community.
Ed Gamble, member of Clarendon Fire Department, been a firefighter in the fire service for many, many years. His benevolence is unquestionable and probably not matched by anybody else in the state's fire service. Ed is always there if you need him. He's one of the kindest and most giving men that I know. He works behind the scenes many times and does not look for recognition, thus the purpose for this award. I've known Ed for many years and known the many things that he has done in the fire service behind the scenes, and that's why we've nominated Ed for this award. I could not think of a more fitting person to receive the Citizenship of the Year award for 2014.
Very few times in my life have I been speechless, but when Bruce Klein called to tell me that I had been nominated and was going to receive the Citizenship Award, I was speechless. I'm truly humbled by this. There are a lot of others who deserve it, and I don't know that I deserve it, but I'm grateful.
Ed is a modest and humble servant. He's quick, though, to divert recognition from himself and to give the praise to God. He's blessed to be able to serve other people, and I certainly have been blessed to call him friend for these many years. So with that, congratulations, Ed, on a well-deserved recognition, the Citizenship Award sponsored by the South Carolina State Firefighters Association.
Keep it short.
I'll say the same thing I said when Bruce told me, and there are very few times in my life when I am without speech, and this is one of those. But I'm grateful, I'm humbled, and I thank you for the award.
Our next award represents a little bit of history. In the Clyde Spillers Educator of the Year Award, Chief Spillers was with Hanahan, Lake City, ended up in Williamsburg County, and he embodied what an educator would be. And not just an educator of the fire service, because he did drive all over the lower part of the state and other parts as well, teaching classes back in the 70s and early 80s. But he also spent probably as many miles educating the general public and doing fire prevention and as well as first aid CPR type stuff back then, such as the form of it was. But he was well known to the folks around this state as being a true educator, and the association named this award after him. So if I would maybe ask you to draw your attention again to the screens for the Educator of the Year Award. Typical saying when people say that you want to work smarter, not harder. I think Les and Diane Woods they break that mold. They are the combination of an individual who have come together as a team in life and in the fire service to work smarter and harder at the same time. Les and Diane have pioneered for the state of South Carolina the use of side-by-side burns to advocate for residential sprinklers, and I think in doing that have pioneered the use of fire prevention education in the forefront of our communities. I think that they have reinvigorated the sport, if you will, and the profession of firefighting, the use of fire prevention and education tools, making it sexy, making it something that the average firefighter wants to do. And Les and Diane have done that as a team and made it look easy. They've made it to where fire prevention, whether it's through the Fire and Life Safety Educators Association or whether through the work with the Coalition for Residential Sprinklers, they've made it look like this is the important issue that we all know in our heart that it was. They've sincerely gone out and went through the community offering this topic and putting it in the forefront on the lips and the minds of firefighters. And this award is being given to them as a team because of the team effort that they have done with this issue.
The education of both firefighters and the residents of South Carolina is of paramount importance. It's the most important job in the fire service as far as I'm concerned. From the first day of recruit school until you retire, every day you have an opportunity to educate someone that you come across. It may be at a fire call, it may be at a public gathering, it may be somebody coming in for a station tour, but every contact we make as firefighters is an opportunity to educate someone that will ultimately save their life and reduce their injuries in the event of fire.
Yeah, I gave up granite countertops for residential sprinklers, but I'm working on those countertops right now. Working with the South Carolina Sprinkler Coalition has been phenomenal. We have been doing an awful lot of education throughout the state, as Les has said, and it just amazes me how this one sprinkler head is the life-saving tool of today and tomorrow. And, you know, we came from smoke alarms, and now all you have to do is install this in your home.
I decided to make a cameo appearance for Educator of the Year on the behalf of Les and Diane Woods. I certainly wanted to tell them congratulations on this award, very deserving. I recall probably a couple years ago now, I might have been the first side-by-side burn we ever did in York County, our home county, at one of the local Lowe's, and it was very successful, and that propelled you into continuing to do this side-by-side burn and educating the folks across the state. So I think this award is very deserving, and congratulations.
Les and Diane Woods are a team, and it's very fitting that they win this award together. Les and Diane are advocates for the state's fire service. They're advocates for volunteer firefighters. They've been extremely involved in the Sprinkler Coalition. They have conducted side-by-side burns all across the state. Even they've conducted a side-by-side burn in Myrtle Beach that had the largest attendance in this country. They do an exemplary job with the side-by-side burn. They're constantly educating and teaching people and instructing people. As I said, they are a team, and it's very fitting that they win this award together. I cannot think of anybody in the last several years that have done more for educating the public and educating the fire service than Les and Diane Woods.
Wow.
Yeah.
Extremely honored, humbled, and just, you know, it's just a tremendous feeling to be selected for this award. Yeah, we put in a lot of hours, but it's because of the love that we have for the work that we're doing. Don't expect any accolades for it. So we were very, very surprised and appreciative.
Yeah, wow is the big word, but you don't do it for the awards. And the award to me is that everybody I've ever talked to or touched is part of winning this award. It's not about us. We're just kind of like a catalyst. And when Joe called us, I thought he was like kidding around, because it's not something you ever expect. I'm humbled by it, and it just makes you want to do more. And I just have to say thank you to everyone that selected us, and it's just one honor to be recognized by your peers.
What an incredible dynamic duo. And I guess they just feed off of each other's energy. And I'm not quite sure that I know how they do that, but just the energy they both have and the passion that they both have for fire prevention in this state. No matter what meeting you go to, one of them's going to stand up and talk about fire prevention. And my hats are off to both of them for that. It's just that it's been fun to watch the enthusiasm and the energy that they bring to that topic, and the good that they are doing and the groundwork that they're laying for fire prevention in our state with each and every time they roll out the door. Ladies and gentlemen, I offer to you the 2014 Clyde B. Spillers Educator of the Year Award recipients, Diane and Les Woods.
Congratulations, It isn't all about us. I want to thank every chief, and the first one was Chief Kerber in Fort Mill that started it off. And I'd like to thank every chief that since Chief Kerber has allowed us to come into their community and conduct a side-by-side burn. My wish is, by 2016, every new home that's built will have sprinklers. That's my wish. Honey?
And as was recorded in the tape, it's all about each and every one of you. Each and every firefighter has an obligation, and hopefully will develop a passion to educate the public And ultimately, you will save lives. You may not always hear about it, but you will make a difference. So please join us and continue to push for smoke alarms, escape plans, and residential sprinklers. Thank you very much for this honor.
Thank you.
There are times in the career of an individual or a group of individuals or in the history of a department where services are rendered that are dangerous, as is most of our occupation certainly, but that is done to effect a rescue or in an attempt to save a life. And our Meritorious Action Awards seek to recognize those individuals that have accomplished that and represent us all. For our first Meritorious Action Award, I'd like to draw your attention again to the screens.
Arrive on scene when we got there at a single wide mobile home, approximately 75% involved. There was a back bedroom at the far end from where we arrived that was not yet involved. South Carolina Highway Patrol was on scene when one of their officers was actually running to the back of the house when we pulled up. I proceeded around to the back of the house with him, and where he told me that there was a woman entrapped. Then I forced the door, made entry into the house where there was heavy fire to my left. So I went to the left down a hallway, approximately 5 or 10 foot, and found a female victim laying face down on the floor. I was able to remove her from the house where we began CPR. She did begin breathing for a short period of time and quit again. We continued CPR until EMS arrived on scene and we passed patient care off to her.
Happened on November 16th. Units from the fire service was responding to a residential structure fire in the Silver Lake Mobile Home Park community. On arrival, firefighter Campbell was on engine 12 as the first arriving unit. Had multiple people screaming that there was an entrapment in that structure. Trent made an entry into the structure and found a victim in the back hallway. We moved her. At the point in time when I was arriving, they were removing her from the structure at that point.
She, as far as I know, she spent probably around 2 weeks at Augusta Burn Center, being treated for her injuries. She was released, and as far as I know, is currently at home, where she's undergoing outpatient skin graft surgeries. Last thing I heard, she was making a full recovery.
It's not often that guys spend their whole career trying to make a grab out of a structure fire, and he was lucky enough to get one in his first 5 years. Congratulations on your award. You earned it. You did a good job, and everybody in the department's proud of it. Your 2014 Meritorious Action Award goes to Trent Campbell.
Congratulations, Trent. Man of my own heart. Few words, I suppose. And again to the screen for our next Meritorious Action Award, please.
a report of entrapment. And then while we were en route, we got advised that it was a car in the pond with a person still entrapped in the car. And when we got on scene, found out that was the case. Usually when you're dispatched these things, it's a lot different when you get there, but we got there. A gentleman was still trapped inside of his car, unable to get out.
When we got there, we found a car partially submerged with the gentleman still in it, with the car floating out. The guys from the fire truck and the mini rescue got there. The two guys from the mini rescue went in the water, attempted to get the guy out. Water was really cold. It was cold outside that night. The car sunk.
Made contact with the patient and see if he was able to get himself out, but he wasn't unable to. Tried to open a rear window, and was still unable to get the patient out at that point.
What we did was we made entry through the rear window in order to unlock the door and open it up. Once that happened, we couldn't get that front door open, so we had turned around and called to firefighter Bowman to bring an axe. And at this time, the car had completely submerged. We then got the axe. We had opened up the sunroof and then pulled the patient out through the sunroof.
Well, obviously, this is a situation for the most part that you don't expect. Being firefighters, we are trained in rescue and that. So taking a look at those guys, I know I work with some of the best in the country in this fire department. Didn't expect anything less of them that they were going to use the knowledge they had and the experience they had to go ahead and not just do an extrication that's a little out of the ordinary. You expect an extrication, you're going to take out your Hurst tools to pry open the door. But with a vehicle submerged underwater, it kind of changes things for you. So they used their ingenuity, used what they had to do to make this happen, to save this gentleman's life.
It feels good, don't get me wrong. It feels really good. No, it's not particularly the reason why I do this is not for awards. It's nice to get recognized.
Makes us feel good. I mean, it's just part of the everyday job, though.
Feels good. Feels good. I know there was a lot of help from everybody else on the scene and everybody in the department. So
I am incredibly honored to have been given this privilege.
I would like to congratulate the firefighters of the City of Myrtle Beach Fire Department for receiving this award, and also to the guys that assisted with this extrication and saving this gentleman's life. 2014 Meritorious Award is going to be awarded to the City of Myrtle Beach firefighters, paramedic engineer Todd Lovelace, paramedic firefighter Lloyd Bowman, firefighter Matthew Ballard, and firefighter Scott Keats.
On behalf of myself and the guys that were there that night, we thank you. It's quite an honor to be honored. Thank you.
An act of valor is something special. An act of valor is something that may come around once in a career or once in a history of the fire department, but an act of valor is that little extra edge of something special. And the association noted that it takes special individuals to achieve this level. And we wanted to ensure that the act of valor, and in this particular medal, was awarded in the name of an individual that we knew himself was special and ultimately gave his all. I had the pleasure of knowing Jeff Chavis, but I think it is important to hear his story, that we get that from someone in his department. And I've asked one of our past presidents, and Chief Eddie Turner, if he would come please and share a moment of story about Jeff and this award.
Thank you, Joe. Jeff Chavis was a very young firefighter with Lexington County Fire Service, 22 years old. And he come to work on a normal day, a Saturday, June 16th, 2001, expecting it to be a normal day, and it turned out to be anything but a normal day. That day, Jeff was part of a firefighting crew fighting a large group of townhouses. And in the process of fighting those fires in those townhouses, he became trapped in a garage and suffered a very severe burn. From there, burned on June 16, 2001. He was flown to the Augusta Burn Center and spent 26 days there. And on July 12, 2001, Jeff passed from his injuries. His memory's never forgotten. If you have a chance or know anything about the Jeff Chavis House at the Augusta Burn Center named in his memory, you heard one of our guys a while ago that just got an award mentioning sending a patient down there. This is our memory for Jeff. This is where people, when they go to the burn center, this is where the families stay. This is where the patients go back for follow-up. And this is how we remember this great person.
And now for this year's recipient, I draw your attention to the screens.
Fire trucks, and we went en route. We got told by dispatch that it's possible entrapments, unconfirmed if they were out or not. So right then, your adrenaline starts kicking up, and it's a whole different ballgame sets in from there. You're not just so much worried about the fire. Now you're worried about how many victims you might have inside. Engine 2 got on scene first. They reported smoke showing from the 2nd Division, and the door was locked, so they started to make entry, forcing the door so they can get a hose line advance inside the building. We pulled up in ladder 1. Cat Mayrant, he asked for a ladder to get thrown to the 2nd Division window that was already open as a secondary means of egress, and if we wanted a VES, we had it there. I stepped out of the truck and grabbed the ladder from the rear of the truck and threw it to the second window. As I got done throwing the ladder, Cat Mayrant told me to get with him, and they're going to follow the hose team in with Captain Wessinger and do a search. They went inside and started to spray some water, and I waited behind them before we went in to go search. At about that time, we were getting calls from command from Chief Amick, and he was saying the conditions were worsening inside, and we need to hurry up and try and find the seat of the fire. And I sat there with my Halligan tool and tried to break out the window from the inside. As I was doing that, something told me that something wasn't right, I guess. I don't know. I looked back to Firefighter Dominic and asked him, hey, where's Captain Wessinger at? And he said he didn't know where he was. So I dropped back down to the floor and started hauling for Captain Wessinger. Probably yelled 3 or 4 times before I heard him answer back. Once I got voice confirmation from him that he was still up somewhere in the 2nd Division, I started beating on the ground with my Halligan tool to give him an orientation of where we were at. He hollered back at me and told me to keep on beating. He could hear it, and he was heading our way. So not shortly after that, Captain Wessinger, he finally made it to the window, and we had accountability for all 3 of us that were still inside. After that, I continued to break the window out and finally got it cleared out, and that's when I told the guys the window was clear, and we started coming out of the window.
We're over here, is what they said. Actually, Rob Stewart is the one I heard calling out, and I heard him banging a tool on the floor. But quickly, because we stayed calm, I was able to regain my composure, get to them. We exited through 2nd floor windows and down ladders.
Yeah, at that point in time, it was myself and Rob, and Rob realized that we didn't have Engine 2's crew back there with us. So as I was exiting the window, Rob went back. Again, at this point in time, we had 0 visibility, high heat. I remember to this day that my back was starting to burn. It was that hot inside. But again, firefighter Stewart turned back around, realized that we didn't have everyone with us, went back to the entranceway of the room that we were in, and started yelling out for the second crew. Not only did he yell, but he also used his tool to beat the floor to make noise.
Early that morning were something we don't want to happen. We know they do. You're always hoping it happened somewhere else, not in your own backyard. But when I arrived on the scene, the event had just played out. We've just seen, you could tell by the look on people's faces, something bad had just happened. And the fact that it was so quick that within about 13 minutes from the time the tone dropped till it was over with is what it took for that entire thing to happen. Rob brought a good bit of maturity when he came in, and he instantly started moving his way through the fire department, becoming somewhat of a mentor for the younger guys, one that helps with our new recruits. He seems to do a very good job with that. He has a good head on his shoulder, as they say around here. He's really squared away. I think that has a lot to do with keeping a level head, like what happened at this morning that this took place. He kept his wits about him, resorted back to his training, and didn't let anything rattle him. Just did what he was supposed to do and held his ground.
I feel like an honor and privilege, sitting here being able to talk about firefighter Stewart. Again, due to his actions, two people got out that probably wouldn't have if it wasn't for him. So, it's definitely an honor and a privilege to be sitting here and talking about this, and putting Rob up for this award, because he definitely deserves it.
Rob, congratulations on receiving this award. Thank you for saving my life.
Your 2014 Medal of Valor Award recipient is Rob Stewart with Irmo Fire District.
Thank y'all for, actually Captain Mayrant, for nominating me for this award. Since the beginning of all I said, I kind of think I just did what everyone else in our department would do, and just take care of each other. So it's an honor and a privilege, and thank y'all very much.
To do something over 50 years is a true mark and a true milestone. Quite frankly, it's longer than I've been on this planet. So I guess it's definitely something to admire and to think about, and to think about the service of an individual like James B. Murphy, whom this award is named after, is pretty incredible. He was the association's attorney for that duration of time, and he helped to establish the Firefighter of the Year award for this association. And on top of that, came up with the funding for the award for the first number of years it was offered. So it is in his honor that it is named, and so now I ask that you look to the screens for the James B. Murphy Firefighter of the Year award.
For Firefighter of the Year, for many reasons. Bruce is a gentleman that I certainly consider a leader in the fire service for the state. He has done tremendous accomplishments for the state in the fire service. Has served as a committee chair on numerous committees. He's been, of course, past president of our association back in 2001, which was certainly a trying time with the obvious events that occurred in 2001. But even after that, he continued to stay heavily involved with the association, the Sprinkler Association, any kind of life safety initiatives, the advisory committee through the state. Bruce has been a leader on all those committees. He's just not a member of those committees. He truly is a leader.
Chief Klein was in the military. He was a United States Marine. Took a job with Beaufort Fire Department, worked his way up to lieutenant. Then he moved out to Fripp Island, where he became fire chief at Fripp Island, and then he moved to Ladies Island, where he's been chief for the last 8 years. Over that time, he's been committed to what's going on in the county. He was a hazmat coordinator for Northern Beaufort County. He served numerous years as the president of the Fire Chiefs Association in Beaufort County, and he's also been instrumental with hurricane readiness in our county. The best thing about Chief Bruce Klein is his commitment not only to the fire service employees, but the citizens of the Ladies Island Fire District. He has a true passion for the job. He shows up 6 o'clock in the morning before everybody gets here, and he's here long after everybody's gone. And all that is in service to his community. And something he takes pride in. He takes pride in our patch, and he shows a love for the job every day.
He works very hard at the fire service. He works very hard at everything that he does. He's given a lot of himself and a lot of his time to the state and to the local level.
Character Bruce Klein, he likes bourbon. Who can't love a guy that likes bourbon? Bruce is a Marine, and I think when I think of Marines, you think of honor and code and country, and I think Bruce exemplifies that. One of Bruce's most common sayings is taking the high road on issues, and he's been a mentor to me on a number of occasions. He's one of my confidants. I feel very comfortable based on his experience through his tenure as fire chief, both in Ladies Island and at Fripp, where he was before, that I can call him and ask him about absolutely anything.
Well, I want to say it goes all the way back to childhood chasing fire trucks and watching fires in northern New York, where I was born and raised. But I kind of fell into the fire service. When I was in the Marine Corps, I was getting out and stayed locally in the area in Beaufort and put applications at the Sheriff's Department and Beaufort Fire Department. Beaufort Fire Department thankfully called me before the Sheriff's Department did. You know, to be nominated by your peers is recognition enough. I don't seek awards. I don't go after awards. I'm just 100% committed to the South Carolina State Fire Service. I'm 100% committed to the South Carolina State Firefighters Association.
For Chief Klein to win the award goes above and beyond what anyone would expect out of their fire chief. To be recognized statewide for his accomplishments, not only on the local level, but on the state level. He's been committed to the Firefighter Association for almost 20 years. He's a past president. He has been instrumental in the sprinkler battle and continues to give everything he's got for the firefighters state of South Carolina.
And I'll tell you, there are very few people that I would say that I would love to work for, but he is one. He's a great leader. He loves to mentor people. He's a disciplinarian, a Marine at heart. But Chief Klein is one I love to call friend, and I count him a very close ally and always like to keep him involved in issues because he's a fighter. And if he believes in a cause, he will fight to the end. So again, Chief Klein, congratulations.
Bruce, congratulations on Firefighter of the Year again. I can't think of anyone more deserving, and I'm proud that you are one of my mentors. I'm proud that I had the opportunity to nominate you. I'm very proud that I consider you a friend.
Your 2014 Firefighter of the Year goes to Chief Bruce Klein.
Thank you. Thank you. I have to thank the most important person in the world, my wife. Janine Klein, please stand. Thank you for allowing me to commit to my love, the fire service. You know, I didn't think I was going to get emotional. You can sit down. Back in 1999, when I won this award first time, my mother and father surprised me. And today, I hope my mom's watching live stream, and I know my dad is watching. Thank you.
None of us would be in this room. None of us would be at the place we are in our careers or with this association or be able to enjoy the things that we have done this week, but for the work of those individuals who sat through the chairs and became presidents of this association. Our past presidents are some of the best and brightest in our profession, and have been mentors to most all of us. I know in particular I would not be here had it not been for those individuals that I looked up to and admired and watched and wanted to be like. Those folks were the past presidents of the South Carolina State Firefighters Association. If you are in this room and you are a past president of this organization, would you please stand? Look around you, folks. These are the true leaders and visionaries that brought us to this point. And likewise, in our 7 fire service sister organizations, the presidents of those organizations brought us to where we are as well, too. Are there other Fire Service Association past presidents in the room? Would you please stand and be recognized? We could not do what we do today nor enjoy what we enjoy today without each of you that just stood. Thank you on behalf of the members of the executive committee now. We value your presence here today and still your input, so don't go far. We're probably going to be pulling you back into some things. Thank you for what you do. And as all of those individuals know and recognize, it's a very special time in the evolution in life as you move through chairs when you get to this point as president. It's a very emotional time. I've had the honor of being able to be in that role, and I know no less Jonathan feels the same way. And it's that opportunity now which we begin our transfer of command process. And our first step in that is to offer the mic in one final time to our soon-to-be past president. Jonathan, you want to come up? The mic is yours.
I don't feel so bad if I get emotional because a Marine cried before me. Semper Fi. My last time at the mic as president. This is going to take a while, y'all. No, I'm just kidding. I can't thank you, Mike and Paul, enough for what you said that, truthfully, I couldn't have said today. Mostly, I just want to say thank you to a bunch of people. First of all, I want to thank God, my creator, my sustainer, my Savior, Jesus Christ, because I really feel like it's He that orchestrated all the opportunity, all the circumstances, the vision, the people, and the talents that have gotten me to where I am today. To my family, Denise, the love of my life, my best friend, my children, Cooper and Mary Louise, who have sacrificed and been waiting for this day. My mom and dad, to share this experience with my dad, to be the first time that we've had 2 generations of presidents. And this is a special time for my mom, who supported him all those years. I came to my first conference in 1977. I've only missed about 3 since then. I've got a lot of you beat. I was 6 months old at my first conference. But this organization itself has helped raise me. To the Clarendon County Fire Department, my home department, Chief Richburg, and staff and friends that you're watching, I know, streaming live, who have held the fort down for me, who have really taken the burden of my load this year so that I could be active in the association, and who have done that for so many years now. To our county administration, who again have just freely given of themselves to allow me to serve. to what I've had the pleasure to serve on several executive committees over the years, but I got to say, not taking anything away from the others, this year has just been a dream team of an executive committee and committee members. You folks have worked hard, you've accomplished a lot, and truly, there's no group of people than the folks that have served before me and the folks that serve with me now that care more about the fire service than you. To the association staff who works tirelessly. Some of you, you see them working, some of them are behind the scenes, maybe even behind the curtain and won't come out. But I especially got to thank Joe Palmer. I think Joe, having served as past president, brings something to that office that all of you that have served as president since he's been executive director can appreciate. Joe, you have both personally and professionally inspired me and have been a help for me this past year. I don't know, there are a few times in life that you meet a kindred spirit, someone that I think shares your heart and shares your passions. And Denise and I both feel that way about you and Marguerite. Thank you very much. To my mentors, we call them the white hats of the fire service, those who always, as Bruce Klein would put it, take the high road. You know who you are. You've helped raise me, literally, and you've guided me. Sometimes you've inflicted the rod of correction, and that's greatly appreciated. To Will, years ago, Will and I had this idea that we wanted to run back to back. I don't know that either one of us really thought it would come as quick as it did. In fact, I surprised Will when I decided to announce to run as fourth vice president. But Will, you're my friend. You've been my encourager. Sometimes my partner in crime. And it's been fun serving with you, and I look forward to serving under you next year. And then finally, to the fire service, I want to thank you, because truthfully, it's all about you. As I've told our executive committee many times over the year, that the decisions that we make have to be made with our members in mind. We have to consider, are the decisions, are the things that we're wanting to do, are they benefiting the executive committee? Are they benefiting our members? And we have to make decisions that certainly affect you, but ultimately we want those things to benefit you. You're the ones that 5 years ago I stood before and announced, and I was running for fourth vice president and asked for your support. You're the ones that I made promises to, and I actually, in preparing to talk today, looked over my fourth vice president speech just to see if I had held true on the things I told you I wanted to do, and I can honestly say there's not a thing on there that we haven't done. There's not a single thing on there that I promised you that we would accomplish or that would be our focus that it hasn't been. And so I thank you, and I thank the executive committees that I've served with. I got to thank Bruce Klein because he appointed me to my first committee in 2001. And that has been a great gift to me. And so with that, that's it. That's the end. Thank you.
Move over to this side.
Out of puppet master.
It's the one time a year, I say this every year, so those of you that are repeat attenders, just forgive me. It's the one time a year I get to tell everybody what to do. I get to boss the boss around for a brief ever so moment. Will, if you would please, Will Vinay, our incoming president, if you would please come up and join us. One of the first acts and symbols that we offer is that the president gets to utilize his gavel throughout the year to call meetings to order, to get us back in line. Symbolizes your authority to operate and to stand by those meeting times that we've been together. And so, Jonathan, if you would, you get the opportunity to offer to Will his gavel that he will use for meetings yet to come.
Will, there's two elements that symbolize your time as presidency. One's the president's helmet, which we'll get to in a minute, that symbolizes command. The other is the gavel, which symbolizes control. Use it as you will. Understand the power and the influence that you have as president. Enjoy it, savor it, but be responsible with it. I know you will.
The other symbol that we pass on from year to year to the presidents themselves is truly a symbol that all officers carry, and that is that of the fire helmet. And with that, if I could, gentlemen, if I could have the presentation of the president's helmet. I think we've got a special guest bringing it up. You want to tell us who you got? It's important.
Yes, it is important. This is my son, Ben Vinay, bringing in the firefighter helmet, president helmet. He looks good in the bow tie.
You stand right there. He's going to hand it to you right in front of him. Thank you, sir. Stand right here. There you go.
This helmet symbolizes the honor and dignity of the South Carolina State Firefighters Association. And with this helmet, although you'll have to pry it from my hands, I now transfer command of this great association. Congratulations, Will.
I'm going to take it and put it over here.
That's fine.
I'm taking it from you. I'm going to set it right up
Don't
here.
sit in front of Jonathan.
I'll try not to let him get it.
Take it back.
I'll try to get it. Because you, in turn, get to present him with the gavel which he used.
Yours is a lot flatter than mine. Through your leadership, this gavel was rarely used. You are a president to follow, to be proud of. Like you said, we did this together. I'm honored to follow you, Jonathan. Thank you.
Thank you, bro. I love you.
He's off the stage, right?
Yeah, he's off the stage. It's your stage now. You feel nervous? You ought to be. And the first official act that you get to do is to announce to this group who our fourth vice president is.
It is a great honor on behalf of the South Carolina Firefighter Association Executive Committee, but really the membership. The fourth vice president for this year is Trace Atkinson. If you would come up, please.
Do this one, that one, or that one.
The mic off stage is an attempt to not let me talk very long. I want to thank the members of the association and especially the members of the executive committee and committees that I've worked with over the past year and a half, couple of years to get me to this point. And thank you for the opportunity to serve you and to make our association continue to grow in the direction we're going, a safer and a better educated association. So thank you for the opportunity.
Yes, sir. We will now take the opportunity to swear in our vice presidents and past presidents. So, gentlemen, if you would please come to the middle of the floor. And the oath this year is administered by Carter Jones. Carter, if you would, to the mic. And I believe you may have to move that mic out a little bit so you can get a better angle and view of those folks. Floor is yours, sir.
Okay, all you have to do is say I do. Raise your right hand. Do you swear to support the Constitution and bylaws and at all times bear true allegiance to the goals and purposes of the South Carolina State Firefighters Association? And do you further swear to perform the duties and responsibilities of your office to the best of your ability? So help you God. Congratulations.
Most difficult thing we practice every year is this pinning. It taxes our abilities. It did me when I was down there too, though, so it's nothing new. Each of the officers of the association, each of the elected officials and the committee chairs have pens. And those pens are issued to you, and I have a full array, I'm proud to say, of when I moved through the chairs, those pins. They signified a lot to me, and I was able to maintain those through the year, and kind of a constant reminder when I put that uniform on of the oath that I just took, and I know it will be for each of you. Thank you, gentlemen. Well done. Now, if I could have to the stage the Bible holder, administrator of the oath, and Will's family. Monica, if y'all would like to come up, please. We'll move over here. I think you've heard a number of speakers offer this week, I'll say, not just necessarily today, the importance of family and the importance of your family's support when you move into this role. And I think one of the people that probably sacrificed the most is the president's wife, because unfortunately I have to bother them a lot and they're on the road a lot. And one of the little traditions we've kind of started, pass wisdom, experience, and just to say thank you is the opportunity for the wife's gift. So Denise, if you would like to come and speak a few moments to Monica. That's right. We have the good fortune, if you were here at opening ceremony, you were able to hear a little bit about the history of this association and FDNY. It goes back a long time, the Civil War days, and was just kind of reinvigorated after 9/11. We have a great friend from FDNY that I had the pleasure of meeting and that I know Carter's known for a long time, and that's Chief Richie Fanning. And Chief Fanning wanted to make sure that we had a lasting memorial to that bond that we have in the form of an association Bible. It's been my pleasure and the pleasure of President Sents to be able to sign the inside of this Bible and to use it when we swear each of those individuals in. So it's that, Carter, I'll offer it to you. And now, sir?
Please, raise your hand. I, Will Vinay, hereby swear that I will support the Constitution and the bylaws, and at all times bear true allegiance to the goals and purposes of the South Carolina State Firefighters Association. I further swear to perform the duties and responsibilities of my office. Responsibilities of my office. It was cut and I tried to go on, but to the best of my abilities, so help me God.
To the best of my abilities, so help me God.
Congratulations, Will.
She gets now the opportunity to stick him. This is your final chance, so you better get him good. Each one of our presidents also have the opportunity to be able to show the world and each member of this fire service that the role you play, and presenting the president's pin to you, as the ring to you as well. So thank you, Will. The week comes with that. Yes, it does, and more than you know. Perfect. Thank you, ma'am.
All right, find your seats, find your seats. Sit. I really appreciate y'all hanging out. I know that you've been here since last Sunday, most of you. It's been a long week, and it's real important for the membership to see this transfer of command. I've watched it for years, and it is a special, special service. And thank you for being here. There's a couple of things I believe. I believe you need to be in the right place at the right time, doing the right thing. I also think that life is not about where you're going, it's all about the journey. So what I want to do now is I want to thank a few people that have helped me along this journey to put me where I am now. I'll tell you, in life, the secret to success is to keep people in your life that you don't want to disappoint. If you continue to do that, no matter what it takes, you'll get the job done, you'll do the right things, you'll make the right decisions, because you don't want to let certain people down. And I have a lot of those people in my life, and a lot of those people in this room right now. I will start with my support staff. And that's my wife that you already met. You've seen how tiny she is, but she's the rock that holds this big fella up. She makes everything happen, and she rides my butt like you wouldn't believe. And Monica, I thank you for the sacrifices you make. I can tell you on Wednesday that I got to be going on the weekend for association meeting, and you make things happen with the kids. Never questioning what I want to do and why I want to do it. Thank you. To the kids, Ben, Chase, y'all give up a lot for your dad to be out on the road trying to help firefighters all over the state. I don't miss many football games. I missed a couple of basketball games. Baseball season gets a little tough. We're out on the road in the spring. Spring's busy. You never complain. You never ask why I'm not there. You know what I'm doing. You know what I'm about. Thank you. And every time I come to a Chase, you always want something when I come back from a trip. So, but all you do is you meet me at the door, give me a big hug, and remind me why I do the right things. Thank you. God, dog. Yeah, Dad. Yeah, it's on you. Yeah, you see me? All right, thanks for calling. That's my dad. He wasn't able to make it. A few years back, he had a stroke, and travel's a little tough. It's my show, y'all wait on me. There was nothing I couldn't do in my dad's eyes. No matter what it was in life, he said, go for it. And I'm going to tell you, we grew up dirt poor, Bubba. I'm the son of shrimpers and crabbers. I don't have the legacy in the fire service. But if there's anything I ever want to accomplish, we made it happen. I'm talking pinching pennies and sending me off to school. Dad, I'm looking at the camera. Thank you. Now, I want to add this. For all the fire departments out there and all the fire service out there that have trouble getting online, having trouble with computers, let me tell you, if I can talk my dad through getting on Ustream and watching me live, y'all have got no excuse. If you can't find somebody in your community, somebody in your fire district that knows how to use internet, your fire department probably ain't the most important thing in your district. The next two people I want to thank are my in-laws, Carol and Burl Robinson. Like I said, anything that I need to do as far as association, academy, school, they never asked or didn't have time to take care of the kids or help Monica out. Carol and Burl, thank you. Coach. The next group, all these people are in the third row, so y'all need to take a look at this third row. If you want people in your life that really make a difference and really tell you what they think, not tell you what you want to hear, that third row right there tells me what I need to hear. It ain't always good news. And also, if the hotel staff is looking for who to put the baby Ruth in the pool, I would also start that at the third row. Keith and Andy, godparents of Ben, best friends from the beginning of time. We started out in middle school, and the four of us Keith, Andy, and my sister Angel. How about a girl? You hanging in there? Tell you a little something about my sister Angel. If there's anybody that's ever proud of me in my life, it's her. Now, I had my EMT. Ames thought it was a doctor. So anybody gets hurt, anybody gets sick, her little brother can handle it. Ames, thanks for always being there and always believing. Jimmy Phillips, another one in that support staff. Another guy that tells you what you need to hear. Always there for you no matter what. I'm going to tell you a quick story. Well, it don't have to be quick. Y'all are here. I had some issues. We moved into a new house. And my sewage backed up, and I don't know much about that kind of thing. And Jimmy came over, dug it up. We cut the pipe out and fixed it. And I said, if you got people that will dig through your sewage, that is one hell of a friend. Jimmy, I appreciate you. Now let's talk a little bit about my fire service family, because it's important for me to talk about my department and my shift. As Jonathan mentioned up here, we're on the road a lot. I'm busy, and even when I'm on duty, I may be working for the association, doing things and trying to work on things. So they have to pick up a lot of the slack. I have my main man, Lieutenant Rob Morgan, who has picked up the slack for me for the last couple of years when I'm out on the road. So when I'm gone, he runs the shift. And all you guys back there watching on Ustream at Department, thank you for what you do, and thank you for supporting us. Can't go forward without thanking my Chief Bruce Klein. He is the reason I'm where I'm at now. You know, he's been successful in the fire service. You've seen some of the things, and we've talked about some of the things he's accomplished. But he's also the guy that's always looking back to find that up-and-comer, because that's important. And that's the basis behind the Leadership Institute. Find the next people to take this over, because if we don't have succession planning, one day we're just going to all walk away and have nothing left. Chief Klein, thank you for being there. Thank you for taking me along. Thank you for what you do. Next guy is Carter Jones. Carter Jones has been a true friend of mine from the time I came in the fire service. He was working for Pierce selling fire trucks. He saw something in me that I didn't even see. And along the way, he pushed me to reach my goals. Thank you, Carter. Joe Palmer and the entire South Carolina Firefighter Association staff, they do more for the membership than y'all will ever know and ever be able to appreciate. Anybody coming along, and Trace, you can learn real fast that they keep you straight, they let you know what you need to know, and actually even tell you what to dress. So I want to tell you a little bit about the first time I ever came to conference. It was now 2001. I came into the conference, and I was with another gentleman, and we ran in, right here at the escalators, we ran into the current president. I was probably wearing khaki shorts. Is that about right, Kyle? Khaki shorts, and I think a collared shirt. And the gentleman I was with had on cut-off blue jeans. We were 3.5 hours away, and he was wearing a pager, and he had a department T-shirt on. Now, the gentleman that approached me was wearing a Class A uniform, just like I got on now. And he says, you know, there's some great classes going up just the escalator. There's about 6 or 7 different classrooms. Pick what you want. Go take anything you want to take. And I took one look at the guy I was with, took a look at the guy in the Class A suit, and was like, you know, we don't belong. So we ended up down there at NASCAR and drove NASCAR go-karts all day long. Here's where I was wrong and what I learned along the way. We are exactly who belonged here. Nobody belonged in them classrooms more than us. It took me a little while to figure that out. And I know there's guys out in our membership that feel the same way I did. I don't belong. I'm not the big department. We don't have big money. No, it is your association. Every member is as important as any member. And that's important to know as we go forward. This year has very little to do with me. Today is my day. I got the helmet, I got the ring, I got the gavel. I got my family here seeing it, and I got my folks back home watching. But every other day, it's the membership. The membership belongs to you. Don't ever forget that. Don't ever think that you're not the guy. We're not the department. And believe me, this membership is what you make of it. It's what you make of it. I got into the fire service because I wanted to make a difference. That's all I wanted to do. Well, actually, I got in because of the schedule. Once I got there, I figured out that I want to make a difference. And I am proud every step along the way, as I look to the guys in the chairs now, every step along the way and the committees I served on, I know we have made an impact and we have made a difference. That will continue. And it will continue long after my presidency. As long as I'm still here and still living, I will commit to this membership doing everything I can do, much like many of the presidents that are in this room now that stood earlier. Here's something you have to do for me, though. For me to be successful as president, I need the membership to meet me halfway. We reach out and we reach out and we reach out, whether it be quarterly trainings, regional training, different benefit packages, just different things offered as member benefits. Members have to educate themselves because there may be a disconnect somewhere along the way. I can reach out 75 feet. You may have to come the other 25 feet, but you have to be willing to do that. If you want this to be a great membership and you want to take advantage of the benefits of being a member, you have to reach out. The benefits are here for you. I want you to use them. And I'm not just talking about medical benefits. I'm talking about the training and education. I want you to use every benefit we have except the death benefit. If you have that option, don't use that one. We're going to keep it in place, but please don't use it. I want you to get involved with the training in seminars. Come to the quarterlies. Bring something to the table and take it back with you. It doesn't do any good for you to come to quarterlies and just leaving it quarterly. Take it back to your department. Here's a big thing. We need to get involved with our legislators. We have to. If we're going to be successful, we have to get involved with our legislation. We got to get involved in local issues. We got to get involved with our local legislators that are going to the State House, and that's where we're going to make our impact. I need a fully involved membership. Was that as cool as I thought it was going to be? I want you to be proud of South Carolina Fire Service as I am. Because I tell you what, that's something I have. When you grow up poor, all you have is your pride. And I am proud of South Carolina Fire Service. I am proud to go anywhere in the nation and tell them where I'm from and what I represent. I want you to be the same way. There's a couple things we're going to do. We're going to have to change the way that we think about a couple of things. We've got to change the way we think about strategies and tactics. We've got to change the way we think about recruitment and retention. We need to go out and get members of your community that aren't 21 and 22 years old go and fight fire, because there are valuable assets that are in your community that can make a difference. I don't care if it's building things at the station, lawyers, judges, doctors. Carter Jones has done a good job for that for years. Getting people in your community that can help you. We need to grow our membership. My goal is to be above 20,000 members. We're at 1,700 now. 17,000. 20,000 by next year. 500 departments, 5 people per department. That's doable. That's doable. And it doesn't always have to be that young kid that goes interior. It doesn't have to be that guy. There's plenty of things that people can do for your department. It's been a focus of this conference. Another thing that we're going to need to focus on and be committed to and rethink the way we do business is behavioral health. It's those things that we don't want to talk about in the firehouse. It's the conversations that I guard because I'm worried about what people will think about me. We got to break down those barriers. And I promise you, I'm going to commit to that. Behavioral health is be important to me for the rest of my career. We've taken some tough hits here in South Carolina lately, and we got to figure out how to deal with that. I told you that it's important to have people that you don't want to disappoint. Well, today, by accepting this ring, this helmet, and this gavel, I have 17,500 people that I won't let down. And I'll wake up every day working to do the right thing for you. I want you to know that I'm here for you. If you need something, give me a call. Don't hesitate. But I want you to come with me. I want you all in. Like I said, I want it to be fully involved membership. Now, it is my honor to close the 2014 Fire Rescue Conference. Jonathan Jones, you did a fabulous job. Thank you. Can I have a motion?